There was a quote from John F. Kennedy back in 1962 where he was explaining why they decided to go to the moon. And what he said was basically, we're not trying to go to the moon because it's easy. We're going because it's hard. And that statement right there says a lot. That is a very, very powerful statement. And it resonates a lot with me because it's something that I realized about life is that you don't improve unless you're doing something hard. Because it's hard, that's the reason that you do these things. These delayed gratification things, these discipline things, like everything that you do to improve your life, you do it because it's hard, right? Working out is not easy. Working out hurts. It's painful. It hurts, right? But you don't get muscles unless you work out, right? So you have to do hard things if you want to improve, if you want to expand. It's all about doing difficult things, because if it wasn't difficult, then everybody would do it, which means that it really wouldn't be anything worth having anyway. If everybody had it, if everybody had gold, if everybody had $1 million, then $1 million wouldn't be shit. You would be going for $1 billion then. The thing that gives things value is the finite nature of it. And I relate that quote back to my own life, because the only times that I've ever improved personally is when I do hard things. I spent a lot of time in my youth and in my adolescence doing easy shit, being comfortable, playing video games, just doing easy shit. I never did anything that was that hard because I didn't think I needed to. Like I didn't conceptualize this back then. This showed up in a lot of ways. So when I was in high school, for example, I didn't do my homework. I straight up didn't do homework. I procrastinated and I did my homework during lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like I would do the homework from the day before on the day of at lunch. I wasn't doing anything hard. I wasn't doing the homework when I should have been doing it at home. I wasn't using my discipline to do something that I didn't want to do, which is the homework, when I had the opportunity to play video games, right? Like why would I do homework over video games? That makes no sense, right? But that's how I thought. And so that came with everything in my life. That little habit of mine expanded into every area of my life. And so that's why I wasn't improved. That's why I had actually decreased. Like, for example, I didn't approach any girls, for example. Like, that's a pretty hard thing to do. I didn't approach any girls. I didn't approach any people in general. I didn't just go up to people and start talking to them, and I didn't build up my social skills in that way. I would only talk to somebody if they talked to me. The same thing with sports. I didn't play any sports growing up in high school, in middle school, or anything, and it was because it was too hard. I remember I used to love swimming. Like, you can ask anybody in my family, like, I used to love swimming. I used to love the water, and they used to call me a fish, you know what I'm saying? Because I used to love just being in the water, swimming around. And the reason I stopped swimming was because my mom or whoever, my dad, put me into a swimming class, like to actually learn how to genuinely swim. And I quit after that because it was too hard, because they were like telling me how to do shit. They were like telling me, no, don't do it like that, do it like this. They were teaching me the actual technique, and I couldn't just do it my own way, which is comfortable and easy. I had to be taught how to actually do it, which was hard. You know what I'm saying? And so I gave up swimming because I was being taught how to do it, which was too hard for me. I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle someone telling me what to do and me like feeling like I was gonna drown and like just doing something hard. I couldn't handle that. When it came to basketball, I didn't apply myself in basketball. I didn't try. I had tried little rec leagues and stuff in middle school, but I never actually gave it my all. I never really tried because it was too hard. Like, they would have us running scrimmages. They would have us running suicides and shit, like down and backs. And that came in high school as well when it came to the conditioning for basketball and football and all that. So I didn't play any sports in high school or middle school because the work that it took to actually get good at those sports was too much. I remember when I would go to these conditioning drills in high school, man, and that shit killed me, bro. Be running up bleachers, running down the field, and I would feel like I was just gonna pass out. And instead of just going despite that, I would quit because of that. And so my whole life, I had just gotten used to not doing hard things. I had just gotten used to quitting when things got too hard. What happened with that was it messed up my life. It completely messed up my life. Not doing any sports messed up my discipline, for one. It messed up my social life for another thing, because I didn't have any athleticism. I wasn't strong. I didn't have any muscles. I didn't have that brotherhood that comes with sports. You know, I didn't practice with anybody. I didn't have anything to do after school. So when it came to after school, when school was over, I would just go straight home and just play video games and shit because I had nothing to do. I didn't have any band practice. I didn't have any sports practice. I didn't have shit to do. I was put into a program because my parents, they tried. Like, this is just my fault. Like, this is completely my fault. Like, my parents, they tried. They put me in a bunch of programs and shit. I remember when I was a kid and they put me in this program. This is probably like 10 years ago now, but it was a program of like, it was singing and dancing. It was something like with singing and dancing and shit. Because they were just trying any damn thing, seeing what would stick. And none of it stuck for me because it was just too difficult. But this was the one thing that I did like, because there was a few different things that you could do in this program. So you could sing, you could dance, or you could make beats, because we were like making beats for the dancers and shit and to sing to, and to dance to. And I was like, cool. I started making beats, and it was actually fun. Like, I liked doing it, but it was because they already had everything set up. They had all the programs, they had all the computers, they had all the equipment set up, right? And so all I had to do was literally just kind of listen to what they were doing. They kind of just press the little buttons and make a fun beat, right? I didn't know how to actually implement and how to download the software and how to do all that shit. And I remember my dad had bought me a keyboard, like the same keyboard that they had at the program. He bought me one of those. Like, it had a keyboard, it had the little beat pads, you know, those little things on it. And I didn't fucking use it, right? Because I didn't know how to use it, and I didn't bother to figure it out. I think it came with the software to make the beats and stuff, I'm pretty sure. But I just didn't bother to figure out how to download the stuff, how to download the instrument sounds and to load them onto the keyboard, and how to learn how to actually make the beats on my own and shit. I didn't learn how to do any of that shit. I thought it was too hard, so I just gave up, and it was just sitting in my room for all this time. And that was expensive. Like, he spent a lot of money on that, and he wrote me a very heartfelt message on there, and he was like, I'm really proud of you, and I want you to spread your wings and fly and all this. Like, he wrote a very nice message, but I didn't use it because it was just too hard for me. And so there were a lot of things like this, man. And so not following through on anything that I had ever slightly wanted to do just because it got hard, that messed up my confidence, it messed up my work ethic, it messed up my determination, and it just set in a habit of mine of just giving up on shit when it got hard. And so that's obviously a terrible mindset to adapt. The point is that all that stuff messed up not only my habits and messed up my mindset and all that, but it messed up my social life. I didn't have anything that I did that I was proud of to talk about with other people, to build connections with other people, you know? So my social life was messed up because of that. And like I said, I didn't do my homework right, and I was super lazy with my schoolwork. And so my grades suffered, and so I couldn't get into a good college. I applied for Michigan State because I live in Michigan, and my parents went to Michigan State. And so my whole life, I had put it in my mind that I was gonna go to Michigan State when I grew up. And by the time I got there, my grades were pretty shitty. And so I didn't get in. I remember I sent the application and all that, and the only thing that I had in my favor, because it wasn't my damn grades, it was all those programs that my parents had signed me up for all these years. And so I had so many different little programs and little things that I could add to my resume to try to apply for college. And they declined me. They said they didn't let me in. And I got into Central Michigan University, which was good in my opinion. I was like, shit, bet. You know, I was like, DDG went there, like, let's go, like, fuck it. We going to CMU. And the only reason that lady let me in is because I didn't have to take the SAT, was because of the COVID shit. The COVID thing kind of messed up. It took away like half of my high school years. Started high school in 2018, so in 2020 and stuff, the COVID shut down, and so that was kind of like giving me benefit of the doubt, you know, because of COVID. So that helped me get into college, right? And so I didn't have good grades, but I still got into a pretty good college. But when I got to college, I hadn't deconstructed those bad habits and that bad mindset. And so I was still doing the same shit. I still didn't do any homework in college. I still didn't do any schoolwork. And so I ended up flunking out of college. And I was back at home within a year. I was going to community college at that point. And so this mentality of just doing easy shit and comfortable shit messed up my whole life, right? Like, I'm sitting here This was like 2023, and I'm sitting here. I had flunked out of college. I had messed up the only opportunity that I had because of a huge, horrible global pandemic. I messed up all the shit that I had ever done up to that point, and I'm sitting here with nothing to show for any of it. Like I was like 20. I was like 19 or 20, and I had nothing to show for it. It was really, really bad. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit, bro. And the only time that I improved since that point, was when I started doing hard shit. I had to prove to myself that I could do something hard. And so what I do, I started going on the treadmill every single day. We have a treadmill at my crib. And I started going on that bitch every single day. This was around April. This was around March or April of 2024, because I had gained weight up to that point. I had gained weight. I had lost a little bit of weight in 2023 because I was doing treadmill and stuff, and I was starting to work out, but I didn't really know how to do it right, and I was kind of starving myself. And so I had lost weight, but it wasn't sustainable, and so I gained it back by the time I had gotten to 2024, in like early 2024. So by April, I had said, you know what? I am going to get on this treadmill literally every single day until I lose this weight. And I did that for like a month. I did that, and I didn't stop. I proved to myself that I could do that. And then by like May and June, I had signed up for a gym membership. I started going to a real gym. And then I started working out every day since then, and the rest is history, as they say. But that was one thing that helped me. And so just doing hard shit is what grew me to how I am now. Doing hard workouts every single day. When it came to advancing my knowledge and stuff, I had to start sitting down and reading books, you know, which is something that I never did because I didn't have the discipline. So I didn't do any of that shit. So I had to start sitting down reading books, and that was hard. But again, like nothing that's easy is gonna give you anything that you want. And so it was hard, yes, but it was necessary. And now I know a whole bunch of shit that I didn't know back, you know, a couple years ago. Just knocking down fears. Like I started doing a whole bunch of shit that I never did. And so I started approaching people. I was doing a little multi-level marketing thing a couple years ago, and I started approaching people, trying to sell things. I had to start selling things and approaching people in the store and on the street. The only things that improved my life were the things that were difficult. And this came with YouTube as well. Like I make YouTube videos now, and I'm very consistent with it, but the only reason that I got to this point that I'm at was because I started doing the hard shit. Initially, when I was doing YouTube, I wanted to do reactions and shit because that's very easy. It's very easy to just record a reaction and just upload it with no editing, no scripting, no planning, no nothing. You know, you just have to react to a video that somebody else already made, you know, so that's very easy to do. And I refused to do any scripting or editing or anything because I just wanted it to be so easy. And so I was doing that through like 2021 and 2 and shit. And my channel didn't grow when I was doing that because it was so easy. And then another thing is that I started doing, which this was more recent, was I started doing kickboxing classes, which was super duper hard. And it still is hard. And this is like the hardest shit that I've ever done. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm boxing and shit, and like they put you through grueling workouts for an hour straight. Like you're just fucking dog tired, and you have to keep going, and they just put you through all these damn endurance workouts and shit. But anyway, like it's just doing hard shit is what improves you, improves your mental, improves your mindset. And then circling back to the YouTube thing, the only reason that I became disciplined and became a better YouTuber and started making better videos is because I actually started putting in the work. I started studying YouTubers. Like there were so many YouTubers, there's so many YouTubers that I watched that I would literally, this is what I used to do. I would go on, because I didn't know how to edit properly. And so I would go to YouTubers that I watched, and I had a notebook, and I would just sit down, I would open it up, I would open up my pen, and I would watch every single edit that they made, like a jump cut, zoom in this much, zoom out this much, you know, pan the camera to zoom into the face, zoom out of the face. You know, I would literally write down every single edit that they did throughout the entire video. It would be like a 10-20 minute video, and I'll just write down every single one and the timestamp of when they did it. So like how far apart each edit was from each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like trying to figure out how exactly to edit and what is the right way to edit, what part are people cutting out, how are they pacing themselves, little things like that. And I would study the shit. I would study it, and then I would stay up all night editing videos. I remember staying up super late, like till 1 a.m. editing videos because I didn't really know how. So my editing process wasn't streamlined. It wasn't that effective or efficient. And so it would take me a long time to do it. And I didn't even want to do it, to be honest, but I just had to sit down, buckle down and do it. you know. And so just like little shit like that. Scripting videos, I never did that. I never scripted videos back then because I was doing reactions and shit, and I was doing basketball content, so I don't have to script for that. And you know, I started scripting out videos, I started editing my videos, I started doing thumbnails and all this shit. And that's what got me to the point that I am now, where my channel is growing and I have more discipline. And all this stuff combined is because I just started doing the hard shit. I just buckled down and say, okay, clearly I can't escape the work. Clearly what I'm doing right now isn't working, because I would always just try to escape the work and just be comfortable while trying to succeed. Well, that just doesn't work. You have to get uncomfortable. And so I just realized that at some point. I was like, man, fuck it. Like, I'm gonna just buckle down, I'm gonna just sit down and just do the work. And what do you know? That's when shit started going up. That's when shit started improving. So the point is, you have to do hard shit in order to improve. And you have to do things because they're hard. That kickboxing thing, I don't have to do kickboxing. Like, I'm not training to be a kickboxer. I'm not training to be a fighter. Nobody told me to do that at all. I literally just signed up for it for myself because I knew that it was going to be hard and I knew that I was going to grow from it. So that's literally why I signed up. And I've made videos on this before. You can go check those out. But literally, that's why I started doing it. And just my mental energy and my mental discipline and my physical discipline, pushing through hard workouts and pushing through pain, pushing through, you know, all the horrible thoughts that I'm having, that shit has exponentially improved me. And I only been kickboxing for about a month now. It ain't even been that long, but I've grown so much since starting that damn shit because it's so hard. Like, the harder something is, the more you grow from it. That was my biggest example of doing something specifically because it's hard. You just have to do things because they are hard, like not because it's easy. You do it because it's hard, because you know you're gonna grow from it, you know you're gonna learn from it, and you know you're gonna improve from it. So all that to say, you have to change your mindset about doing hard things. Hard things are actually very, very helpful and very, very crucial if you want to improve your life and you want to get better. You have to do hard shit. And so when it comes to doing something hard, like approaching people and talking to random people and strangers and doing hard workouts, next time you see something that's hard that you don't want to do, you have to reframe your mindset and say, I'm gonna do it because it's hard. I'm not gonna not do it because it's hard. I'm going to do it because it's hard, right? Not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And so if you shift your mindset to that, man, you will be ahead of like 95% of people, I promise you. Like, just that mindset alone is groundbreaking and game changing. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video and comment down below what you want to see next. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.